Good morning, guys. Thank you for coming back and watching these videos. If you are new to the channel, please do smash the subscribe. That is free. That is nothing that costs anybody money but helps this small channel out. As you saw in the title, we are making a video today about the PowerBoost. So we finally got enough miles. I've topped off the tank several times. And so today we are going to concentrate on how the truck has done when it comes to fuel economy. Now, I am at the local gas station filling up with 91 octane. That's what I run in basically all of my gas vehicles. And looking at that, that is about 60 cents cheaper still than diesel. So we're going to get this topped up, hop in the truck, and we're going to talk fuel economy. So now that we fueled it up, guys, let's talk about fuel economy. Now, I know a lot of you are probably wanting to know what I like and dislike about the truck now that we've put almost 1,500 miles on it in less than a month. So I have been pleasantly surprised at how awesome this thing does on fuel economy. Now, there is a fuel coach. Let's take a look at that. So this eco coach right here, you can see the blue line, the darker blue line, and then the white line, and then the light blue line in between it that goes up and down. What that coach does is allow you to kind of hone your driving skills to get the best fuel economy. Now, my screen is green down here in the overall view because I drive it in eco. This truck has 430 horsepower, 570 pounds of torque. Eco basically changes the shift points, but the power is there if you need it. And what'll happen is you can get that line to go down, and you can trick the system into going into hybrid by gently applying the brakes. Now, you can see as that line goes to the left, what that's doing is charging the batteries. Now, you can see that I have a bar there with a black line in it, and what that does is allow you to watch how much battery power or electric that you're in. So you can really, this truck really shines at 45 and below. So in the city, this is where your truck would typically get worse fuel economy, and this is where it actually gets the best fuel economy. Not that it's bad overall. Overall, the truck is excellent when it comes to fuel economy. And yes, if we were towing, that would probably dip. And even though I've only hauled a little bit in the bed, the fuel economy hasn't been bad. So what I'll do is I'll actually be driving, and once you get to a hill that's coming up, you can actually coast and it'll kick into hybrid. I've actually been able to drive several miles in electric only. So what I'll do there is we can, we don't even have to apply the brake, but I do it because we're over the speed limit. And what that'll typically do is kick it down. Now, there is a little bit different brake feel because what that does is it's charging the batteries overall when you're using the brakes, and when it's going actually into its engine state. If the batteries are low from your last electric run, then you can it'll be needing to charge that also. So you can actually get up to 55 mile an hour in electric mode. Now, granted, that bar does go quick down at that speed, but if you're coming up to a light, you can kind of taper your driving and get as much out of that electric mode as you can. So yes, to get the best fuel economy out of any vehicle, it's going to take a little bit of diligent effort, but it's not like it's that bad. You don't have to babysit that gauge to get good fuel economy. Case in point, when I brought out the professional truck driver, and we will bring out the car enthusiast and make a video of him driving it also, we put it in sport mode, we put it in regular mode, and we did a 100 and some odd mile an hour rip to see how fast it gets up to speed, which was exceptional. The worst that this truck has ever got was 23.5. Now, the window sticker, if I remember right, says 23 as the overall fuel economy for this pickup, and it basically says 23 highway, 23 city, and I would say that that is 100% correct. However, there are several other gauges in here. You can put up an instantaneous fuel economy gauge, which basically, it's hard to believe that gauge because it basically accounts for everything when it comes to remote starts, idling, and everything, and that one tends to show lower than what I'm actually getting. Keeping in mind, I'm not having to plug the hybrid pickup in at all, so this is all fuel economy as far as I'm concerned, meaning the engine runs when it needs to, and that's about it. So if I pull into the gym in the morning and it's in hybrid mode, it'll sit there and you can run the heater, the truck will be running, but it'll stay in battery mode. If it deems it too low, it will restart briefly, run for a few seconds, and then go back into battery mode. So it's kind of nice if you need to be idling here and there, that you're not actually sipping the gas when it comes to doing that. So I've basically taken a hand calculation, and that average fuel economy gauge only figures the fuel economy itself. However, if you reset the trip odometer, which I always leave the number 2 from the day I buy it new, set to where we can do an overall total miles, total everything, when towing and everything. I've always done that. I always reset trip 1 and then hand calculate the fuel economy. And so what I do is, because the electric itself is basically free mileage, meaning you're not plugging it in, so it's not taking a charge that you have to plug your energy bill. You're using wasted brake energy and stuff like that for the batteries. So I take the total miles traveled divided by how many gallons of fuel it takes me to fill up. So that's basically how I do it. If you just use the fuel economy gauge, the average gauge, I find it to be substantially lower. So again, the lowest we've gotten is about 23.5. The absolute best I've gotten was 30.54 miles to the gallon. I typically drive a lot of mixed driving, so I do have a commute to work now that engages a 55 mile an hour, some 45, 35, several stoplights, well, actually lots of stoplights, which means a stop and go. So when the truck comes up to a light, unless you ease into it, which usually in the city doesn't work because people drive up everybody's butts, it's going to kick back on the electric engine, but when you're at the light, it's not running. So if you're careful with the gauge, or you have a rolling start, you can keep it in electric mode longer. The truck will then tell you if it's in hybrid and or electric at the time in the gauges. So, you know, if you want to run sport mode, you want to run whatever, I think you're probably going to average that 23 miles to the gallon. And if you drive it hard and super hard and race everywhere, you might get less. But really, the truck shines excellent. My average is right around 28 miles a gallon. This is hand calculated. Again, I've tried to hand calculate it against the average fuel economy, and it's just not correct, because again, you need to go off the total miles traveled. And this thing in 150 miles might run 23, 24 miles just on electric, which is awesome. So when you sit back and think about the little diesels that are on the market, and yeah, those, I've talked to several people that only get 23. I've heard people that get 30. Not necessarily in the city, but that's kind of the averages between 25 and 30. However, they're having issues with, what do you think? The emissions issue. So the great thing about this is you can run 87 octane, you can run 91 octane. The truck senses the octane that you put into it and then adjusts that accordingly. And really, I think this is the absolute best of every, world when you can come to the half-ton market. Now, I know a lot of people poo-poo the EcoBoost, and they say that the turbos won't last. Well, if you're going to get a diesel, it's going to have a turbo. So that, again, if you are concerned about that and you want to take a shot on the Ford PowerBoost so you can tap into that great fuel economy and don't want to mess with emissions, DEF, and diesel, because right now diesel is $1 a gallon more than standard gas. Standard gas is about 80 cents cheaper than diesel. And so this really is nice because you never have to worry about that. And if you are concerned about potential issues, they have a great 10-year warranty on the batteries. You can buy an extended warranty backed by Ford. You can even buy a warranty close to the warranty expiration of your 336 warranty. If you think that's became an issue. I do believe, I've driven enough PowerBoost over the time, you put the proper fuel in, that you're going to have very few problems. Ford's been working on this for years. That's why Ford dropped their little power stroke that they had in the transit vans. They were putting in the F-150 for a minute. They basically found that probably the best way to have to not deal with the emissions issues and everything would be to do a hybrid pickup. Now, the e-torque from Ram is not even close to what this does. I've driven several. I've talked to lots of people that have them, and they still don't get that great of a fuel economy when it comes to having the Hemi, and the Hemi's not as powerful as this PowerBoost. So all in all, guys, this fuel economy is exceptional as far as I am concerned. So at the end of the day, it definitely gets a thumbs up for that. It's actually a joy to drive. And again, if you don't want to watch the Eco Coach, don't. You're going to still get really good fuel economy. It will be interesting to see what happens when we tow, but I expect that from any vehicle. When you tap out its max or put a large trailer behind it, you have a giant windsock, it's going to affect fuel economy. And hey guys, we don't all buy these trucks for fuel economy, but it is nice when you can have the fuel economy along with the truck. Guys, it is free to subscribe to the channel and helps my small channel out. I appreciate all of you that come back every time I watch these videos. For you that are new to the channel, guys, again, just smash that subscribe, give me a thumbs up for me. It helps the algorithm out a little bit when it comes to YouTube. And again, it's completely free. It just lets you know when I post new content. Again, we're gonna have lots of towing videos. I got tons of videos. You can go over to my channel, subscribe, go up to the search bar, and for free, look at all of the tow videos we have on the HD trucks for 23 and for 24 so far, and see how it really goes. And again, guys, I do appreciate you being here. We'll see you on the next one.